The bank app notification popped up while I was touring the house that was supposed to be mine. A 1920s craftsman with original hardwood floors, built-in bookshelves, and a garden perfect for the life I'd been planning. After 10 years of saving, working doubles as an ER nurse, living in studio apartments with broken heaters, I finally had the $80,000 down payment. Or I should have. Withdrawal, $80,000. Remaining balance, $0. My realtor, Patricia, was explaining the kitchen renovations when I stopped breathing. Emma, you okay? I refreshed the app. Still zero. Called the bank with shaking fingers. Yes, Ms. Morrison. A withdrawal was made this morning at 9:47 a.m. The authorized user on the account completed the transaction. What authorized user? Robert Morrison. Your father? He's been on the account since. I hung up and immediately called Dad. Oh good, you saw, he said casually, like he'd borrowed $20. Listen, something important came up. Brandon's girlfriend is pregnant. So, my voice came out strangled. Well, she needs stability. Can't raise a baby in that studio apartment. I gave her the money for a house down payment. You gave my house money to Brandon's girlfriend? She's carrying our grandchild, Emma. You're still single. Priorities. Still single. Like my 7-year relationship with Marcus hadn't just ended because he'd wanted me to choose between him and my career. Like being single at 32 meant I didn't deserve a home. That was MY money. 10 years of savings. Mom's voice joined, speakerphone, of course. Don't be selfish. At least Brandon can keep a woman. Maybe if you weren't so focused on that job. I hung up and sat on the curb outside my dream house while Patricia awkwardly patted my shoulder. 10 years. Gone. For Brandon's mistress. Oh, did I mention that part? Brandon was married. Had been for 5 years to Sweet, trusting Lisa, who was currently 8 months pregnant with their second child. But apparently, his 22-year-old mistress Kayla deserved my house fund because she was pregnant too. I drove straight to my parents' house, still in my scrubs from last night's shift. Brandon's BMW was in the driveway. Of course he was there for Saturday breakfast while his wife thought he was at the gym. I burst through the door to find them all around the dining table like a Norman Rockwell painting from hell. Brandon, Mom, Dad, and Kayla, barely old enough to drink, belly just starting to show, counting MY money on the table. Emma, Mom stood up. Perfect timing. You can help Kayla look for houses. That's my money, I said quietly. Kayla had the audacity to speak. Brandon said his family would help us. For the baby. His family? He has a wife. Lisa. Remember her? Your kid's actual stepmother? Brandon's face darkened. That's none of your business. It became my business when Dad stole my down payment for your mistress. Stolen is a harsh word, Dad interjected. I'm an authorized user. From when I was 18. When you insisted on helping me open the account. Well, maybe this will teach you to manage your own finances better, Mom sniffed. A woman your age shouldn't need her daddy on her bank account. The gaslighting was so perfect I almost laughed. They'd insisted on staying on the account for emergencies. Now they were blaming me for trusting them. Does Lisa know? I asked Brandon directly. His jaw clenched. She doesn't need to. Not yet. Not yet. She's 8 months pregnant with your second child. Exactly why I can't tell her now, he said, like this was logical. Stress isn't good for the baby. But stealing your sister's life savings for your mistress is fine? Kayla started crying. Of course she did. You don't understand. I love him. We're soulmates. Soulmates. I laughed, harsh and bitter. He's been cheating on his wife for 2 years. What makes you think he won't cheat on you? Emma, enough, Dad commanded. What's done is done. Kayla needs stability for our grandchild. Your grandchild? What about Lisa's children? Your actual legal grandchildren? Those are different, Mom said dismissively. We never really connected with Lisa. Because Lisa was a social worker who called them out on their bullshit. Because Lisa didn't worship at the altar of Brandon's perfection. Because Lisa had once asked why they gave Brandon money every month, but never helped me despite my working since I was 16. I looked at them all, my family counting my money like it was theirs, planning a future built on lies and theft, and felt something cold settle in my chest. You're right, I said calmly. What's done is done. They relaxed, thinking I'd accepted it. They had no idea what was coming next. I spent the rest of the weekend doing 3 things. Documenting everything, calling lawyers, and planning justice. First, the documentation. Kayla, bless her young, stupid heart, had already posted about her surprise blessing, all over social media. Pictures of her and Brandon, ultrasound photos, and crucially, a post from that morning. Baby's grandparents just gave us the most amazing gift. House shopping starts now. #blessed, #baby Morrison, #new beginnings. Screenshot. Archived. Saved in multiple locations. Brandon wasn't much smarter. His Instagram still showed him at gym sessions that geotagged to Kayla's apartment. Date nights when Lisa thought he was working late. A particularly damning video from last month where he'd forgotten to turn off live. Can't wait to leave that boring bitch and start fresh with you, baby. The man had documented his own affair like he was proud of it. Second, the legal consultation. Turns out, while Dad was technically allowed to withdraw the money as an authorized user, using it for Brandon's mistress while Brandon was still married, that was marital asset fraud. Lisa could sue. And if she could prove my parents knowingly helped hide assets during an affair, they'd be liable too. But the real ammunition came from my friend in hospital administration. See, Brandon worked for a conservative financial firm. The kind with morality clauses. The kind that really cared about their image. Third, the plan. I wasn't going to scream, rage, or beg. I was going to systematically dismantle their lives the way they'd dismantled my dreams. It started with an anonymous email to Lisa from a concerned friend. Attached were photos, timestamps, and the video of Brandon calling her a boring bitch. But the crown jewel? The screenshot of Kayla's post about the grandparents' gift, along with bank records showing an $80,000 deposit. Lisa called me within an hour, sobbing. Emma, is this real? Every word. I'm so sorry, Lisa. The money, that was yours, wasn't it? For your house. Yes. Oh my God. Emma, I'm so sorry. I had no idea they were. That he was. It's not your fault. But Lisa, you need a lawyer. Today. And I have recommendations. While Lisa processed her world falling apart, I moved to phase 2. Brandon's employer had an anonymous ethics hotline. Such a shame someone reported the married senior analyst who was flaunting his pregnant mistress on social media. Even worse that the report included evidence of financial misconduct, using his wife's joint assets to fund said mistress. Brandon was suspended pending investigation by Tuesday. Phase 3 was almost too easy. You see, Dad's construction business had some interesting tax practices. Nothing major, but the IRS does love anonymous tips about unreported cash payments. And Mom's little side business, selling MLM products? She'd never reported that income. Small potatoes, but enough to trigger audits. Wednesday brought the real fireworks. Lisa served Brandon with divorce papers at our parents' house, where he'd been hiding since she'd kicked him out. She also served my parents with a civil suit for conspiracy to defraud marital assets. You told her. Brandon screamed over the phone. Told her what? About your affair? Your mistress? The stolen money? Be specific, Brandon. You've done so much. I'll lose everything. My job, my kids. Consequences. They're what happen when you fuck around and find out. Kayla's pregnant. What about the baby? What about Lisa's babies? The ones you already have. Mom called next, hysterical. The IRS is auditing us. Your father's business is under investigation. What did you do? Nothing you didn't deserve. We're your parents, who stole $80,000 from me for Brandon's mistress. Was I supposed to send a thank you card? We could lose everything. Like I lost my house? Karma's a bitch, Mom. The best part came Thursday. Kayla, realizing her meal ticket was broke, suspended from work, and getting divorced, suddenly decided she wasn't ready for single motherhood. She dumped Brandon via text and moved back with her parents in Florida. With my money. My $80,000 that was now tied up in legal proceedings. Brandon, in a spectacular display of Morrison family values, tried to get the money back from her. She blocked him. He showed up at her parents' house. They called the police. He got arrested for harassment. His mugshot was beautiful. Chef's kiss. Within a month, Lisa got the house, the kids, and alimony that would bankrupt Brandon for years. Brandon lost his job, his mistress, and any chance of seeing his kids unsupervised. Dad's construction business folded under IRS scrutiny. Mom's MLM empire crumbled, leaving her with a garage full of unsellable products and a tax bill. Kayla disappeared with my money, which was now evidence in multiple legal proceedings. They'd taken my house fund to give to Brandon's mistress. Instead, they'd funded their own destruction. The family group chat was comedy gold. Mom, how could you do this to us? Me, do what? Tell the truth. Dad, you've ruined our retirement. Me. At least you're old enough to have had one. I'm still single, remember? Brandon. I'll never forgive you. Me. Good. Die mad. I changed my number after that. But the universe? Sometimes she provides. 2 months later, I was working an overnight shift when paramedics brought in a cardiac patient. I stabilized him, probably saved his life. His son came to thank me the next day. I'm Marcus Chun, he said, and my stupid heart did a little flip. You saved my dad. I don't know how to thank you. His dad, turned out, was a real estate developer. The grateful kind. The kind who, when he heard my story, Marcus was appalled, offered me an investment opportunity. I've got a property. Needs work, but it's in a great area. You put in sweat equity helping with renovations. I'll give you a deal that'll make you cry. It was better than my dream house. A 1930s cottage with original everything. A disaster that just needed love. Market value after repairs? Triple what I'd invest. Marcus helped with renovations. We spent weekends covered in sawdust and paint, falling in love over demolished kitchens and restored hardwood. A year later, I had my house, a boyfriend who understood loyalty, and a new family in his parents, who'd informally adopted me after hearing how mine had betrayed me. The best revenge? Living well while they fell apart. Last I heard, Brandon was living in his car, working minimum wage, begging Lisa to let him see the kids. Kayla had the baby and immediately put it up for adoption. Turns out she'd never wanted motherhood, just money. My parents were living in a one-bedroom apartment, working in their 70s to pay off IRS debt. Everyone in town knew the story of how they'd stolen from one daughter to fund the other's mistress. And me? I was thriving in my cottage with original hardwood floors, planning a wedding with Marcus, and had somehow ended up with a better house than I'd originally wanted. They gave my house payment to my brother's mistress. I took their house, their business, their reputation, their future. Turns out when you steal someone's dreams to fund someone else's lies, you end up with nothing but nightmares. They had no idea what was coming next. But I did. It was justice, served ice cold with a side of karma. And it was delicious.